Greetings, I am Q, solving the case of the death of Tupac. Now many of you probably know who Tupac is. He was an American rapper who was one of the most popular rappers in the 90s. He was also famous for being in the middle of the largest music rivalries in America, the West Coast and East Coast rap rivalry, which included some of the most famous rappers at the time, including the notorious B.I.G. Now, although Tupac was very popular at the time, he was also involved in many rivalries between rappers and certain gangs in Las Vegas. And because of this, he was shot and killed in 1996 in a drive-by shooting that happened at the intersection of Flamingo Road and Koval Lane in Las Vegas, Nevada. He was quickly taken to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, where he died 6 days later after being put into a medically induced coma because he continued to try to get out of his bed and leave the hospital. In this drive-by shooting, he was accompanied by his friend and co-founder of his music label, Suge Knight. Now, in this shooting, Suge Knight was reportedly hit in the head by fragmentation, though it was thought that a bullet only grazed him. Now look at it this way. There were multiple shots fired by an unknown number of assailants, and only one grazed the person driving the car. I can understand why he wouldn't die, but with many shots fired, you would have thought that at least one bullet would have hit him. That isn't all. Photographs of Tupac at the hospital have never been released. Although it would make sense that the images wouldn't have automatically been given to the press, it's been over 10 years since this happened, and you would think that someone would have come forth with the pictures of Tupac in the hospital after all this time. The stars nowadays can't get away without a magazine article of them being in the hospital with a broken ankle, let alone one of the biggest rappers at the time being in the hospital after a drive-by shooting. Also, Tupac would rap about his death quite a few times, and almost every time he spoke about being buried upon his demise. However, after he died, Tupac was cremated 1 day after he died without an autopsy. Although there was a funeral scheduled after his death, it was reportedly cancelled for no apparent reason. There was no viewing of his body or his ashes after his death. In Tupac's song Buried, he references his death a lot, of course, this being before he died. Could it be possible that he predicted his own death? Or could it be that he used this song as a warning of sorts, telling people that he was leaving this earth, or that he was just faking his death to leave the spotlight? It's entirely possible that Tupac warned of his passing. Just listen to some of the lyrics in the song.
Tell me dead, Lord, are you there? They tell me am I lost cause I'm lonely. I thought I had friends, but in the end a nigga dies lonely. Nowhere to run, I'm in heaven, and no one cares. A closed casket at my funeral when no one's there.
But that isn't all. Shortly before his death, Tupac took on the name Machiavelli, after reading Niccolo Machiavelli's books while in prison. Now many of you may not know who Niccolo Machiavelli is, and I will spare you the details, but in Machiavelli's book, The Art of War, one of the strategies he mentions is faking one's death in order to strategize behind the scenes and in secret, while many operate under the assumption that you are dead. Now could it be at all possible that Tupac was inspired by Machiavelli's writings, and not only took on his name, but also used one of his strategies? Also, Tupac dies in his last video released under the name Tupac. His next video, Toss It Up, from his new album, was released under the name Machiavelli. Now that could be a coincidence, but that just seems a little hard to believe. Not only this, but the people responsible for the death of Tupac have never been caught, and charges have never been laid as a result of the Tupac murder. Also, the white Cadillac used in the drive-by shooting was never identified and never recovered. There have been a lot of crimes that people have never been caught for, but at least the vehicle used in the shooting could have been discovered. But the car was never found, and nobody was charged with the murder. Now all of this just seems to come together a little bit too perfectly for it to be coincidence. But that's not all. Watch the short interview with Suge Knight, the driver of the car with Tupac on the night he got shot, and the co-founder of his record label.
Suge, smoking you stove, I like that, man.
Everybody know one thing about me. I don't care any Hollywood, any on the streets, especially Hollywood rappers.
Yeah.
We can get our paperwork.
Yeah.
And see what all we ever been arrested for. I guarantee you, it's never been nothing for me but straight real and violence.
Ain't no, you ain't snitching. No.
I ain't never in my life told. You know, I'm the mother when people ask me if I know who killed Tupac, and not saying Tupac dead or alive, but I'm saying if they ask me if I know who killed Tupac, I'm the said, hey, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
I don't get down like that. One thing people gotta realize, it's mother born and raised out here.
Yeah.
You both suspect the mother who live out here.
Yeah.
Because right now we got a lot of out-of-towners living out here, and they ain't saying nothing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have a 90 mother walk down the street and said Suge Knight killed Tupac. When everybody know off the top, I ain't the nigga killed Tupac, I'm the nigga protected Tupac.
Yeah.
But at the same time, bitch ass Puffy can give him a mother star, and every rat in the world said he didn't want to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
Or had him shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you notice, it was a rat on television saying he the one did the shooting, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, right?
Right.
If you think about it, right?
Right.
Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they the one killed Tupac?
Because they're snitching to the police, so they ain't
Not
gonna get
just
arrested.
to snitch and be smart, son. Because Tupac not
I ain't
dead.
as smart as you showed me.
Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar on the
doing what
island
you doing
somewhere.
right
You
now.
know what I mean?
The person that was accompanying Tupac in the car the night he was shot and killed says that he isn't dead. He says that no one murdered him and that no one will ever be caught and charged with the murder because no murder occurred that night. Now, with all this evidence, I have proved beyond any reasonable doubt that there is at least a possibility